You know that box on your kitchen counter that heats up your leftovers in 2 minutes? Ever really stop to think about it? Well, today we're diving into an incredible story where a top secret weapon of war, a super curious engineer, and a melted candy bar accidentally changed the entire world.
It really does all boil down to this one question. How in the world does a pocket-sized snack lead to one of the most revolutionary kitchen gadgets of all time? Okay, let's get into it.
All right, so our story kicks off not in some fancy test kitchen, but right in the middle of World War II.
I want you to picture this. It's a high-security lab. An engineer named Percy Spencer is checking out a new, incredibly powerful radar machine. It's just humming with this unseen energy, a device designed to hunt enemy planes in total darkness.
So he's standing in front of this machine, feels absolutely nothing out of the ordinary, and just moves on with his day. But a little later, when he reaches into his pocket for that chocolate bar, well, it's not a solid snack anymore. It's just a warm, sticky, melted mess. He's totally baffled, right? The room isn't hot, there's no fire, so what just happened?
And then it clicks. This chilling realization just hits him. That wasn't just a radar set. He was standing in front of an invisible energy ray powerful enough to cook food through the fabric of his pants. And his first thought wasn't, oh no, it was, what else can this thing do?
Now, to understand why he made that leap of logic, you really have to understand the man himself. Percy Spencer was, well, he was no ordinary engineer.
I mean, Spencer wasn't some fancy, university-educated physicist. His father died, his mother left him, and he dropped out of school after the 5th grade. But he was just obsessed with how things worked. He literally joined the Navy just to learn about this magical new technology called radio, and he taught himself advanced math and physics by candlelight. By the time World War II rolled around, this self-taught genius was one of the world's leading experts on radar technology.
So, armed with this incredible observation, Spencer didn't just, write up a boring report. Nope. He started experimenting right then and there in the lab. The day after the whole chocolate incident, he brought a bag of popcorn kernels to work. He held them in front of the machine, and his colleagues just stared, completely astonished, as they started bursting into fluffy white popcorn. This invisible ray was a cooker. But, he needed a more dramatic test. So, next up, a raw egg. They put the egg under the ray. It starts to shake. One of the other curious engineers leans in for a closer look and splat! The egg explodes, splattering hot yolk all over the poor guy's face. And just like that, in the absolute messiest way possible, Spencer had proven he'd discovered a completely new way to cook food. But why did it cook? I mean, how did that actually happen? To understand that, we need to look inside the machine that started this whole thing. This little thing right here. This is the Magnetron. It was the Allies' secret weapon, a device that could generate the powerful, high-frequency radio waves or microwaves that they needed to spot enemy planes in the middle of the night. So here's the basic idea of how it works. Inside this copper block, there's a piece in the middle that heats up and it starts like boiling off electrons. Then you've got these super powerful magnets that force those electrons to spin into a high-speed swirling cloud. As this cloud zips past a bunch of little cavities, it makes them resonate. It's kind of like blowing over the top of a bottle to make a sound. And that resonance is what unleashes that powerful, invisible beam of microwaves. So what makes this so different from your regular oven? Well, a conventional oven heats up the air around your food, right? It slowly cooks everything from the outside in. A microwave oven does the exact opposite. It uses those invisible waves to cook food directly from the inside out.
The scientific principle behind all this magic is called dielectric heating. Yeah, I know it's a fancy term, but it's really a very clever process that targets one specific molecule that's found in pretty much all food: water.
You see, water molecules are polar, which just means they act like tiny little magnets with a positive and a negative end. Now, that microwave field flips back and forth an incredible 2.45 billion times every single second. This field grabs onto those little water molecules and just violently twists them back and forth at that same insane speed. All of that vibration on a molecular level creates intense friction, and that friction is heat. And that's why the watery yolk inside that egg turned into a miniature pressure bomb. So, of course, Spencer's company, Raytheon, they realized immediately that this wasn't just some cool scientific curiosity. Oh no, this was a massive commercial opportunity. And get this,
Just 2 years after the chocolate bar incident, they released the world's very first commercial microwave, and they gave it this perfect, futuristic name, the Radarange.
It was an absolute engineering marvel, and a total commercial flop. I mean, the original Radarange was an industrial monster. We're talking 6 feet tall, weighing over 750 pounds, and it cost the equivalent of more than $60,000 today.
But the seed was planted, and over the next couple of decades, engineers figured out how to shrink the technology, how to make it safe, and most importantly, how to make it affordable. And today, that very same technology, born from a World War II weapon and a self-taught engineer's curiosity, sits in billions of kitchens all around the globe.
It's just a jaw-dropping story of accidental genius and invisible physics. And it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other invention that you use every single day was a complete and total accident?